Hi everyone and welcome to Paleo Kids Kitchen. My name is Leslie and actually I'm going to be recording this one all by myself. Today I shot a quick video on how to render your own lard. And lard is something that we use a lot in our baking and our cooking in the kitchen with Rory, and so I thought that I would record a quick video on how to render it yourself so that you can save some money. Now lard you can buy in the store. Epic has a brand and so does US Wellness Meats. You can order from them, as well as other local farmers will sell you pre-rendered lard for you to buy, and that can be upwards of $10 for a small jar. I have bought just bags of fat, which is what lard comes from, is rendered pork fat, and I can buy a bag of 20 pounds for about $10, which will get me several jars of lard, that will serve me for an entire year. So it just takes a little bit of time, and the reason that I am doing this video all by myself is because rendering lard is you're dealing with oil and there's a potential for splatter and burns, and I just don't feel comfortable having Rory in the kitchen with me when we do that. But I had videoed this, thought I would share it. It's very useful, especially if you have a family and you're looking for ways to save money. Rendering your own lard is one of the better ways to do it. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so to get started, you're going to take some of your pork fat. This is about 5 pounds of raw pork fat. It's about 3 bags from the giant 20-pound bag of pork fat that I had ordered, and it comes frozen, and you're going to want to let it thaw a little bit, not completely so that the fat is mushy, but you don't want it fully solid. That's hard to work with. So I let it thaw for maybe, I don't know, a half hour to an hour so that it has some integrity and you can sort of cut through it. So you'll take them out of the bags, and then the first thing that you want to do is cut off the meat that you see, any visible pieces of meat. Now you can cut those off and you can cook them separately and eat them, but you don't want to render your lard with it because it can impart a flavor, it can also burn, and it can make your lard go rancid a little bit faster. Once you cut off all the meat, then you're going to cut your lard into chunks. The smaller the chunks that you cut, the faster the lard will render. I usually cut them in about 1-inch pieces. Now, a tip for working with your lard is very greasy, clearly, so I try and only touch the lard with one hand and my knife with the other. That way that I'm not using a greasy hand on the knife, because it can get very slippery and that can cause accidents. So lard with one hand, knife with the other. And then you're going to put the lard into a heavy bottomed skillet pot, and this is our Le Creuset Dutch oven, and I am just going to add it all in there. Once you have all your meat cut and you put it all in the container, into your Dutch oven, then you're going to want to turn the heat on. I usually turn it to about 5 or 6, and then I stir it just to get it started and to get the fat starting to render. And as you can see here, there's a little bit rendered in the bottom, and it's got that like greasy, shiny look to it. So I'll cover it at that point, and then I will just turn the heat down to low, and then I will just let it sit for a couple of hours. I stir it occasionally between every 30 minutes or so, just to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It's been about 2 hours that it's been rendering. So you can see there's a ton more lard in there, and all the chunks of fat have been rendered down. I'll probably let this go for a little bit more before I pour it out or start to pour it out, but we're getting really close. You can take it out right now and just render the last little bit, but I just like to do it all at once. It's just easier and less stuff to navigate around the kitchen.
Okay, so at this point, I am going to pour everything into this. I've set up a bowl with a mesh strainer, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it into there. Be very careful because of splatter. And I don't want it to go any more, I don't think, because I don't want the lard to have a burnt flavor. And if I leave this stuff in too long, it could start to burn, and it'll impart a flavor on the lard. Usually I'll let this sit here for a minute just because so the extra lard or whatever's rendered can dribble out. But I just want you to see that's what it looks like. And then when you leave it to cool, it'll turn white, and then you can put it in the fridge, or you can put it in other containers. I will transfer this to another container as it starts to cool and it's a little bit scoopable. So there you have it.
So this is what it looks like when you're all done and it's all cooled. And I transferred it to the jars after I cooled just a little bit so that it wasn't too hot. And make sure you transfer it into glass jars. I just save old jars this is a pickle jar and coconut oil jar that I've saved. Usually I put one into the freezer and then I put one in the fridge for us to use immediately. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you don't find it too intimidating and you take a shot at making your own lard at home. It's super easy. It just takes time and can save you quite a bit of money. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.